will relay your mayday. Over.
Ocean Ranger, over and out.
On the nearby rig, Derek Norman listens helplessly.
It was just an event unfolding. Something terrible is happening, but without having a realization of just how terrible it could be. And the worst case scenario is that the rig sinks and nobody survives.
Merv Graham's office relays the Mayday call.
Hello, search and rescue. This is Christopher.
Come on, people, move!
An alarm is sounded on the Ocean Ranger. The men now know they must abandon the rig. But as the safety drills were never seriously practiced, the procedure is unfamiliar.
What did he say? Wait.
1:30 a.m. Ken Blackmore informs Mobil's base in St. John's that they are taking to the lifeboats. It is the last transmission from the Ocean Ranger. A former crew member can only imagine the terror of that moment.
Your whole world basically is going out from underneath your feet. And you're on a list, and then you're trying to make your way uphill across a steel deck, keeping in mind, of course, there's a vicious storm, and get to the location. And then actually have the presence of mind or focused on that to get in the lifeboat and then even to be able to launch it. I mean, I don't know how they were able to achieve it.
The inquiries into the disaster will later surmise that with only 2 working lifeboats and no survival suits, the crew must have evacuated the rig in a state of panic. Some may have even leapt directly into the icy waters. They would have survived for only a few minutes before succumbing to hypothermia. At 2:11 a.m. More than an hour after receiving the desperate call for help, the Seaforth Highlander is at last within visual range of the Ocean Ranger. Captain Duncan sees a faint cluster of lights. They are empty life jackets whose lights have been activated by contact with salt water. Moments later, there is a distress flare from a lifeboat. Duncan navigates closer, trying not to crash into the much smaller boat.
Yes, sir.
The men of the Highlander scramble onto the deck and into the blinding fury of the storm.
I mean, you only just got out on deck, and once the wave come over, and you were soaking wet, and it was cold, and it was freezing spray, and freezing snow, and freezing everything out there that night. And you couldn't see that good anyway. The stuff would almost cut your eyes out. It was just like knives going through your face half the time.
Duncan, showing extraordinary seamanship, maneuvers even closer to the lifeboat.
It was hard to say how far it was away, because like I say, one minute she was up above you, next minute she was down below you, so you knew what it was.
Without harnesses or safety lines, the men of the Seaforth Highlander put their own lives at risk as they prepare for a heroic rescue. February 15th, 1982. In St. John's, Anne-Marie Toohey awakens well before dawn.
I woke up really early that morning and I was worried. I don't know why. I didn't connect it with the rig or anything like that. I was just worried.
2:32 a.m. The Seaforth Highlander has just minutes to save the men in the lifeboat from freezing to death.
Can't reach it! Hey! Someone else, get out here!
Captain Duncan struggles to keep close to the lifeboat.
They had minimal equipment on the Seaforth Highlander, other than that life rings and inflatable life rafts that they could deploy. There was no rescue nets. It would take an incredible amount of seamanship to be able to navigate a ship tossing around in those seas.
If a line can be attached to the lifeboat, the crew of the Highlander might be able to pull it to safety. But in savage winds, their effort is dashed.
We were throwing ropes out to them, and the first time that it was blowing too hard, the ropes wouldn't make it. So that's when we tied life rings onto it. So when we slung them out, Buddy was there, and we told him to make it fast, and that's what he did.
All right, guys, come on, slide on.
A rescue seems imminent. But as the men begin to evacuate, they shift too much weight to one side of the lifeboat.
It was only a little opening, and when they all come out, you just all come out on the one side, and I suppose she was full of water. And once everybody come out, you just flip right over and bust the rope, and that was it.
Now, there are mere minutes to rescue the men from the icy Atlantic.
They were screaming and singing out, but I tried not to listen. I mean, you tried to help, but you tried not to listen what was going on there.
2:38 a.m. One last desperate chance. The men of the Seaforth Highlander sacrifice their own survival raft. But the ropes securing it in its cradle are frozen. Precious seconds are lost cutting it loose. When the raft is finally launched, it blows right past the freezing men. They are too cold and weak to grab onto it.
They were right next to the side of the ship. So if the ship was 3 feet high, well, there's only 3 feet down, and there they were. It's not like they were 3 feet out away from the ship. They were right next to the Seaforth Highlander.
One man in the water is almost saved, but he is unable to keep hold of his rescuer's hand. Time has run out.
One minute they're there, next minute they're gone, and the waves are beating over you, and there was nothing we could do, not a thing.
"3:15 a.m. The Ocean Ranger, thought to be invincible, topples into the sea.
This is the mobile command base.
20 minutes later in St. John's, Merv Graham receives a staggering bulletin.